going on, everybody out there? This is Popular Stranger, and welcome back to episode number 2 of our Denver Broncos Playbook Breakdown tutorial. So if you missed the very first episode, be sure to go check it out. We're starting a new playbook, and we went over some single back formations, a lot of running plays, and we're going to stay in the single back today. Now, if you found this video on YouTube, you were searching for ways to get better in Madden 15, and you found this video or the series, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on the previous videos, and I will also post a link somewhere in the description to the playlist in the series, so if you're just joining into it now, you can check out all the previous episodes and possibly all the episodes that come after this one, depending on when you're watching it. So, as I said, we're going to continue to work out of the single back. First episode, we checked out the deuce formation. In this episode, we're going to check out some plays from the single back dice slot, and a lot of the same concepts. The first run that we're going to take a look at is the 0-1 trap. Again, very similar to what we did in the first episode, and it's just a basic run up the middle. No type of adjustments need to be made, but it's one of those very popular running plays in Madden 15 that usually seems to clear some space, especially if you have some really good offensive tackles. You're able to, get that clear space and run it right up the gut, and if you can get one-on-one with a safety or whatever type of defender is still there standing, you usually can make a nice juke move, spin past him, juke past him, and then it's just off to the races as far as getting to the end zone. But I like to run this play when I need a yard or two, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, it's a different look. It has 3 wide receivers, so usually your opponent or the defense is going to be thinking pass, and they might come out in a dime or a quarters formation where there's only 3 or 4 defensive ends, and you got your 5 offensive tackles, so you already got the mismatch right there, plus you have a tight end. So it's really like 6-on-4 when it comes to blocking, and again, it just opens up a nice clear hole. As you can see, we've pretty much had positive yardage on every single time that we've ran it. So I'll run it once more, and then we will go ahead and take a look at the very next play. So next up, we'll take a look at Halfback Cutback. It's the X option in the middle of the playbook here, and it's just another run that I like to do. Now, normally, if you keep killing your opponent with that 0-1 trap play that we just ran, they might start run committing up the middle. This one kind of allows you to get to the outside, and if you can get good blocking from your offensive line, you usually can break it for long runs. There's really just a hole that you have to look for, and it's generally between your left guard and your left tackle. Sometimes it's going to open up to the outside, but you also have a pulling guard over there that's going to try to continue clearing space out for you. And usually, if you can get it to the inside first and then bust outside, it usually works better. There, I had to just go outside because of the way the blocking was all set up. But again, I like this one just as a different type of run, a different type of look that you're going to give that defense that you're playing against. Because they might start loading up on that 0-1 trap going up the middle, so this one kind of gets to the outside. Sometimes you'll get stuffed, kind of like I did there. Luckily, I was able to get a yard or 2. But sometimes you're going to lose yardage on this play. Unfortunately, that's just how it happens. There's no automatic play that's going to gain you 5 yards every single time you run it, but we'll run it once more. That time I just cut up the middle because I took what the defense gave me. But just again, another really good run play. Those are really the only 2 run plays that I use in this formation. Some other ones that you can take a look at is the inside zone is a nice run. I like to use that against the computer and solo challenges from Mutt. There's a stretch play in this formation, and I believe there's a toss, or no, zone weak, and I think there's a toss sweep. I could be wrong. Nope, that's it. So the next play that we'll take a look at is the play action tight end screen. It's the bottom option down here, the triangle option as well. And this one, you got to be careful when you run it, but primarily your target is going to be the tight end. You want a tight end with some decent speed as well if you're going to run this, but I don't see but one defender over there, so I'm going to throw the screen to him. Again, you have to keep your eye on X after the play action, because if there's 2 defenders over there, you do not want to throw that ball. And again, it is a little awkward once the tight end catches the ball to start moving up the field, but I find that you normally can get some decent yardage on it. There's kind of that awkwardness again that prevented me from getting yards, which is somewhat unfortunate because there's usually a lot of space up front. This time I was able to turn it and get away from those defenders before they could get to the ball carrier. Now, if this thing is covered, which I yet to have had an example of it being covered, oh my god, I almost took that one to the house. Heath Miller was so slow. But a lot of times when I'm playing online games, okay, there's an instance where it's covered. You want to look at your triangle receiver, and you might even want to look at your triangle receiver to start things out, because that usually is a pretty good route. This time everything's covered, so I'm just going to try to scramble, and now I'll throw it, which ended up leading nowhere. But yeah, triangle is another option that you can look at. I only usually use it if X is covered. In this situation, he was not, so I'm just going to dump it off. But don't expect too many huge gains off of this. It's more so a play if you need 2 or 3 yards is when I like to run it. If you get good blocking, you're going to go ahead and get that. I'll run it once more, and then we'll take a look at the next play. Maybe we can get triangle open once more. Here comes a blitz, and beautiful, off the back foot. Now, before we get into the next play, I'm going to take a look at one that I won't really run, but it's the levels divide, and this one has a nice kind of concept that we're going to talk about in the next couple plays that we run, where you're kind of clearing guys out by sending them on streaks. So you see on the right-hand part of the play, they're kind of going upward, and then you got 2 guys coming inside, so that middle of the field is cleared. So use that concept, keep that concept in mind if you want to run the levels divide. The next one that I'm going to take a look at is Z under, and again, it's the same concept. We're going to have one guy this time kind of clearing out space, and that's going to be the tight end, and then Antonio Brown, who makes a nice little move to the inside, usually is free. Now, this route can take a little bit to develop, so normally I like to block my halfback, and that's what I'm going to do here. And you want to be patient before you go looking right at circle, because if they're playing a zone, those middle linebackers can come up on that route and intercept it. I've been caught slipping like that before, and I don't want you to make the same mistake. So normally I like to take a look at the tight end. That was just a one-on-one situation where I probably could have made a better pass, but I was getting blitzed, and I forgot to block my halfback. So here comes another blitz. Normally, if I'm getting one-on-one coverage, I'm going to go ahead and pass it to my tight end, and you might want to use some directional passing when you try to make a throw like I did right there, which means I pushed my analog stick towards the right before I made that throw, just to kind of lead him outward. And once again, the tight end is just wide open. Normally not my primary target, but when you get defense like that, they're giving you that type of look. You just got to take it. So here, once again, you can see they're playing zone. This time I'm going to wait for square to get open because he was more open than circle. You just have to kind of pick them apart. I know a lot of people play zone in this year's game, so if you're just patient enough, you usually can find a target, whether it be X, circle, or square, and you just want to make sure that you buy yourself enough time, because there I forgot to, and I didn't leave my halfback in there blocking. So we'll run it once more. Again, you want to practice these things in the practice mode. That was a dangerous pass, but I trust Antonio Brown. So again, practice this thing in practice mode just to get a good feel for it. And we'll take a look at the next play, which is going to be another passing play. And we'll just go back over here to Dice Slot. And this time around, we're going to run the slot cross. This is just, I mean, it's pretty clear cut. It's a nice crossing route in the middle of the field with your slot receiver. And generally, I like to send my tight end on a streak as well, just to get that same concept, to clear out one side of the field and then have another receiver coming across that section, which usually is open. You might want to block your halfback in this situation again. So we're going to clear out with the X and then dump it off to triangle. Got to watch that zone on the middle linebacker. This time I was able to complete the pass, but sometimes a better little middle linebacker might come up and try to steal that. There was kind of a blitz look, so I'm going to throw it right to Heath Miller because he was wide open. Again, take what the defense gives you. Run it once more. Not too much difficult to this one. Got to be a little patient. Good thing my offensive line had good blocking there. I was able to wait and let Lance Moore kind of cross the field. No safety in this one. I'm probably going to look at, nope, I was going to look at tight end, but he looked like he was doubled, so wide open on that side of the field because the tight end cleared it out. And this will be the last time I run it. We'll see what the defense gives us. And it looks like it's going to be a blitz, so we're going to tag our tight end there, and he's going to get good yardage. Alright, so before we run the last play in this video, there's a couple other plays that you might want to take a look at. Again, just for time's sakes, I'm not going to go over all of them, but this wide receiver fade up here at the top of your screen is a very interesting play. The play art, that wide receiver slanting from on your left-hand side, slanting to the inside, is a really good route. And then there's a kind of a funky route that your halfback runs, and if you can buy enough time to get that pass off, he usually will beat man coverage and zone coverage on that route. You can also take a look at the halfback slip screen. I always suggest looking at any screenplay in any formation because they really do work well in this year's game. The slot swing is another fun one to run. Usually I only recommend it if there's two defenders on the left-hand side and you got your two wide receivers. You're going to win that matchup, but I wouldn't suggest running it too often. It's just one of those more fun plays to run. And then lastly, you can take a look at the flanker drive, which is the triangle option. It's a motion, and I usually like to send my tight end who's doing an in route here on a streak, and that kind of clears out the middle of the field, and then you can hit that wide receiver that comes in motion. So the very last play that we're going to take a look at, if I can find it, is the X under. It's down here at the bottom of your screen. And actually, before I get to that, PA corner post is another play action play that's fun to run, the option, a square that's up at the top of your screen. So now we're going to take a look at X under. Once again, somewhat of the same concept. We have a tight end who's running a streak and clearing out the middle of the field. We want to block our halfback, and then Wheaton, the square receiver, is usually who's going to come under the zone and usually is able to get open. A nice 5 to 8 yard plus carry type pass play. So if you're just looking for something in that range, you get a quicker pass off. And it's really easy to run this play and beat zone coverage. I think with the nice mixture of the two running plays that I showed you guys and then the passing plays, this formation is really deadly. And if you mix it up with what we went over in episode number 1, I think you'll find that you can always keep your defense on their toes with these passes because they just never know what's coming. But it's all the same concept, it's all the same fundamentals, so your eyes are kind of trained to be looking at that stuff, and I think you will have a lot of success. So that's all we're really going to take a look at for single back formations. We'll go over some other stuff, mostly pistol stuff, in the next coming episodes because there's not too many non-pistol and non-shotgun formations in this playbook. Like I said, this is most of what we get with the single back. So hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I'm Popular Stranger. As always, thanks for watching. Peace.